Another Friday is upon us right now, 5:36 a.m. It's great to have you along with us as we go into the afternoon. 1 is our daytime high, 1 degree. We will be above that freezing mark. And this is all just the start of that January thaw. We are looking at a system tracking across Ontario today, but you can see that warm front well to the north of us there. It does bring some snow into places like Montreal. If your travel plans do take you out to Ottawa, Ottawa is such a beautiful place to visit in the wintertime. We could be seeing some icy conditions this evening, but other than that, we are in the clear across the GTA, and we will see likely more sunshine as we go into tomorrow's forecast. Today, these icons here are showing you a mix of sun and cloud for today and into tomorrow, but I'm thinking tomorrow, better chance of seeing some of that sun. We need some natural sunshine, some natural vitamin D, right? 5 degrees in Toronto, 6 in Hamilton. That's your forecast for Saturday. Now, we do have a system developing as we start off next week. At this point, Sunday, we're thinking Sunday should be dry. I know the icon here, a little bit misleading, showing you that rain-snow mix, but we should still be in the clear for Sunday. It's Monday and beyond. That's when we have our eyes on the next system. Now, I want to start off your morning with a pretty amazing video. These two boys in Australia rescued by drone. Have a look. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about this system that is set to impact us as we start next week. Icy conditions, rain, and snow. The details are next. It's 5:46 a.m. on this Friday morning, and as we look at current systems across the country, still not a whole lot of action throughout the lower Great Lakes. So that means we got a pretty easy day in store for us yet again. The commute has been looking good right across the GTA 400 series, up to speed, and no new snow falling this morning. We're -4 with that wind chill. It feels a little more like -10. The winds will be gusting today, and that is ushering in the warmer air, the January thaw. And we're going to chat about that just on the other side of this. I was actually reading about that car carved out of snow, and police actually did put a ticket on the window, and the ticket said, you made my night. So having some fun in the snow, always a good time. I want to show you the weather systems for today. 1 degree is the daytime high in Toronto, so going above that freezing mark. And we are looking at the potential for some flurries out towards Ottawa and Montreal, and then we are fairly calm as we go through the weekend. Not a whole lot going on across the lower Great Lakes, so it feels a little bit like spring as we move into Saturday. Sunday, we should be mainly clear, and then this system greets us as we go into Monday. So now we're looking long range here. So we're still sort of timing out exactly when we could be seeing some icy conditions, how much rain will fall, generally about 5 to 10 millimeters of rain, snow on the backside of this. What we know right now is the rush hour commute on Monday morning could see some icy conditions. Then we'll transition to rain as we go in through the afternoon, and then snow and mixing is possible on the backside of this as temperatures will be cooling off as we go into next week. Saturday here, this is the day that feels most like spring. A beautiful Saturday, 5 degrees in Toronto. As we look ahead at Sunday, we're 3. These icons here are showing a little bit of that mix coming through. We're thinking this system will move in later than Sunday. So overcast skies likely on Sunday, but again, we should be seeing some fairly clear conditions. All right, let me take you out onto the Gardiner. 1 degree in Toronto today. That is our daytime high. Another Friday is upon us, and thanks so much for starting off your day here at the Weather Network. I want to show you, as we go into the afternoon, the winds are going to be picking up, and it's this southwesterly wind that's really going to drive the warmer air into our backyard as we go into Saturday. Saturday's the day that's going to feel the most like spring. You can see into tomorrow morning some very windy conditions all out of the southwest. Usually when we get this strong of a southwesterly wind, temperatures can really rise. We will see temperatures rise, but not quite as warm as what we have seen in the past when it comes to temperatures really going above seasonal, and that's because it really just hasn't been all that warm across the Gulf. We're not tapping into that really nice, mild air. On Saturday, though, still up to 5 degrees in Toronto. Now, speaking of mild air, yesterday, NASA released that, yes, 2017, it was the second hottest year on record. Ending on a positive note. We needed that after that report. Chris May, thanks for that. As we move into Sunday, Sunday should be a fairly dry day. I know these icons are a bit misleading. Our system that we're tracking is now likely Monday and in through Tuesday. So we could see a brief period of some freezing conditions in through Monday morning, then rain develops. Snow is also going to be a story with this, more on the backside for the GTA, and a heavy swath up towards cottage country as well. In between that rain and snow, ice is likely, and we are going to be a target for it here across southern Ontario. Just want to start off with a couple of our headlines on this Friday morning. Right now, 6:06 a.m. Above freezing as we go throughout the weekend. This is the weekend of the January thaw, the day that will feel most like spring. I'd put my money on Saturday. Saturday, that's it. Icy system developing Monday and in through Tuesday, and we are going to be watching this, following this, especially for that Monday morning commute. As we look at your commute this morning, some pretty easy conditions. -4 feels like -10, so heater on in the car? I think yes. And then as we go into the afternoon, it's going to feel like -5 in Toronto. We'll have your weekend forecast coming up just after this. For the Back to the Future lovers, yeah, that was a DeLorean carved out of that snow. Recently, 40 centimeters fell in Montreal. Now, as we look at our conditions through the overnight, we're -1 in Toronto, -2 in Newmarket. That is fairly warm for an overnight temperature in January. That's because we have the southwesterly wind coming in. Not quite as powerful as a usual southwesterly wind that will really warm us up. Remember, we've been quite cold across the U.S. as well. But that southwesterly wind will do something for us, that's for sure. And we're going to see it come in really powerful, especially into tomorrow morning. And that's where we will be seeing temperatures on the rise throughout the day on Saturday. 5 degrees on Saturday, and then we're going to be dealing with a system. Sunday should be mainly clear. If you have travel plans on Sunday, we should be okay, unless it's very late in the day. We're talking overnight and in through Monday. At this point, we're thinking Monday morning, we're timing out that precipitation. It's likely it could hit us for that Monday morning commute. Could start off as a period of some icy conditions. You can see you have to go well to the north to get straight snow with this system. So cottage country, even getting some freezing rain and rain with this. And then on the backside, some mixing and likely snow. As we look at all the different types of precipitation with this system, us here in the GTA, we are likely to be getting some ice. Let me go back to this graphic because I wanted to show you this. See, highlighted in the pink here, this is going to be the target area to be seeing icy conditions where temperatures right at that freezing mark. Perfect to see the precipitation fall as rain and then freezing on contact. So eastern shores of Huron here, stretching across northern GTA up to cottage country and then out to Kingston. All right, let me show you our roads this morning. We've got some warmer air moving in, and that will be leading us into some windy conditions. And I'm going to show you those winds as they're gusting into Saturday morning. Another Friday is upon us, and thanks so much for making the Weather Network a part of your morning. I'm Rachel Schoutsen, and as we look at this afternoon, 1 is the daytime high in Toronto. But with that wind chill, it's going to feel more like -5. We're going to see some gusty conditions, some gusts close to about 40 kilometers an hour within the GTA. The wind is coming out of the right direction. It is coming out of the southwest. But look at these winds into Saturday morning. It's going to be pretty breezy. I think we could see some gusts close to 50 kilometers an hour. And remember, the southwest, the moisture, the air from the Gulf, it really hasn't been that warm. We've been seeing freezing conditions down into Florida. So this warm up, it could be better. But for many people across the U.S., we've been seeing the cooler air. So we can't tap into anything too warm with this. -1 in Toronto as we go through the overnight, and then we have 5 for our daytime high tomorrow. Now with this freeze thaw cycle, I think many of you are probably driving over these. Potholes are costing you money, and Emily Vukovic dives into that right here. And that freeze and thaw, we are certainly seeing it with our next system into Monday. Freezing rain, and then snow on the backside of this. In your 7-day forecast, you can see just how temperatures are going to take a turn. Just in the nick of time. Wow. What an incredible story and a lesson for us all. Yeah, that is not a real car. For Back to the Future lovers, I'm sure you're loving this one. Police actually did put a ticket on there. They said thanks for making their night just some fun in the snow to start off your weekend.
All right, well, as we take a look at our weather alerts this morning, there's actually not very many across the country, but we do have these special weather statements. A little bit of patchy freezing rain and drizzle this morning in areas like Sudbury, Timmins, Kapuskasing, but then that risk for freezing rain, that could come back as we head through the afternoon hours.
And we are going to see that warm front extend in through Quebec, in through Atlantic Canada as well, and it's going to be bringing in a burst of snow on the high end, maybe 10 centimeters, but Montreal, we're going to be seeing a snowy scene today for you.
Yeah, just a little bit of light snow. Ottawa as well as we head through the afternoon hours. This system continues its trek further east into Atlantic Canada after a rather snowy week, Rachel. For a lot of the Maritimes, we've got even more snow coming your way. So snow lovers rejoice. We've got more, about 5 to 10 coming to portions of central and northern Maritimes. That'll be moving into Newfoundland as we head into Saturday night.
All right, we got a big system for Ontario to start off next week, and that's where we start our next one.
A Colorado low, that's where we really have all of our eyes focused in the long range. This is going to be moving into the Great Lakes as we head into Monday and Tuesday. Timing, location of all of this precipitation still a little bit unknown. The low hasn't even formed yet, but you know, freezing rain and rain could become possibly a concern down towards the south.
Absolutely. So the GTA for the morning rush on Monday, we could see some icy conditions. If you're down towards Windsor, London, Sarnia, into those really icy conditions.
Yeah, you know what? Models have been trending this amount of snow a little bit further south. So areas like North Bay, Sudbury, they could be looking at possibly, you know, over 20 centimeters of snow.
Good morning. It is 6:36 a.m. on this Friday. We've made it through another work week, another school week. Right now it is January the 19th, almost 6:45. As we look here, 1 degree as we go into the afternoon. Southwesterly wind develops today, and that is going to be bringing us some windy conditions tonight and then especially into tomorrow morning, which in turn will help warm up our temperatures. We're going to feel a little bit more like spring. As we look at today, not a lot going on within southern Ontario, specifically within the GTA. Just a bit of cloud cover, but if your travel plans do take you east out towards Ottawa is such a beautiful place to visit in January. We could be seeing a little bit of freezing rain as we go into the evening hours and then into early Saturday with some snow as well over towards Montreal. Now, before we get into your forecast, I want to start off your morning with a pretty incredible rescue. These 2 boys rescued in Australia by a drone. Have a look. Incredible. Drones not just for capturing beautiful weather images. Great story. All right, Saturday afternoon, we're 5 degrees in Toronto. We are 3 into Sunday. We should be staying dry into Sunday. The next system, the biggest impact for us, will likely be throughout the day on Monday. Just want to show you our drive this morning. It's Friday morning, 19 days into 2018. Yeah, 2018, January the 19th today. As we look here at our systems across the lower Great Lakes, we are pretty bare in our backyard, and that means we're not getting a whole lot of active weather, and that's good, especially going into a weekend. We have got some nice calm conditions for us. -4 with the wind chill, feels like -10 right now, warming up into the afternoon and especially into Saturday. And we've got details on that January thaw coming up, but right now here's Kelly Sonnenberg with some pretty great videos this morning. Tuesday. As we get to your forecast for this afternoon, we are 1 degree in Toronto. Mix of sun and cloud, but more cloud than sun. I wish it was going to be sunnier today because 1 degree, it's a nice January day. But unfortunately, not a ton of sunshine in our backyard. As we go through the weekend, we really don't have a whole lot of systems coming through. Saturday is going to be pretty plain. We are going to be seeing some sunshine and we are going to have some warm conditions. So Saturday is going to be a good day. Into Sunday, we do see this moisture sort of creeping into the picture, and that is hinting at the next system that will be rolling by Monday and in through Tuesday. Here's your temperatures for the weekend. Beautiful day on Saturday. Again, not full sunshine, not perfect blue skies, more of that sun cloud mix. And then as we go into Sunday here, these icons are still showing the potential of that system coming through. We're really thinking Sunday will be dry. This is going to be a Monday and Tuesday system for us. And this is the model that shows it here. You can see into very early Monday morning, that moisture is still just creeping into southwestern Ontario. So we could be seeing within the GTA, as this system, this moisture moves in, temperatures, if they're close enough to that freezing mark, a little bit of freezing rain to start, so those icy conditions. Then as we warm up throughout the day, rain moves in. On the backside of this, cooler air makes a comeback, and that's when we could be seeing some mixing and some snow. When we talk rain with this system, generally we're thinking about 5 to 10 millimeters of rain. And you can see across the south, we are into that warm sector, even cottage country getting into the rain. To see straight snow with this system, that heavy swath is really Sault Ste. Marie across North Bay, still getting into some mixing into places like North Bay as well, still right on that freezing line. And then as we look in between the rain and the snow, while that period of ice is very likely here, and that could be a widespread story across southern Ontario, especially eastern shores of Huron and up towards cottage country. Now, throughout the show this morning, we're going to be checking in with Michelle Mackey. Awesome stuff, Michelle. Looks like a cold morning out there, but a fun day ahead on the slopes. Have you been skiing yet in Ontario? We really do have some pretty good conditions this year. Above freezing as we go throughout the weekend. Saturday is going to feel the most like spring as we look at our weekend forecast, and then an icy system that's developing Monday and in through Tuesday. We'll take a look at your weekend weather just after this. Turn the heat on in the car this morning. -4 feels like -10. Going into the afternoon, we should be going above that freezing mark. So that is going to feel really, really good for us. 1 in Toronto feels like -5. 1 up in Barrie as well. So the skiing conditions will be a lot more comfortable today. Overnight tonight, you can see our temperatures not taking that big of a hit. And that's because we have a southwesterly wind coming into play. Those southwesterly winds going to be gusting today up to about 40 kilometers an hour. Very windy and breezy into Saturday morning. But what that's doing is pulling in some warmer air. It really hasn't been all that warm down across the U.S., but still, compared to what we've been feeling, it's a bit of a warm up. And we can see it. Saturday, we're 5 degrees. Sunday, we should be staying clear into Sunday as this system is now a Monday and into Tuesday system. 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. And Monday morning could get a little bit of ice and then rain following that. Snow on the backside. So we have a big Colorado low coming our way as we start off next week. I do want to take you out onto our roads this morning because we have been looking at some
signs, so I'm usually trying to dodge all of that. Now, today we're dealing with a little bit of freezing drizzle and freezing rain across portions of northeastern Ontario. This is likely going to be an afternoon story. Down towards the south, though, temperatures are actually going to be getting quite comfortable. And Michelle Mackey is joining us, the show, this morning. She's outside in Snow Valley. And Michelle, temperatures today pretty comfortable, so it looks like you've got a great day to enjoy some outdoor activities.
Have fun, connect with the family. Think about Family Day.
Yeah.
That's approaching for many Canadians. March break as well. That snow pass, that is looking pretty good. A good treat for the kids.
Especially this weekend, too, with nice conditions above seasonal. Of course, we don't want to see an extremely long January thaw, but you know what? A couple milder days. That's going to be great to get outside. You don't have to add on those millions of layers.
I agree. And you can actually use your phone out in the cold. It's not going to shut it off in a second. This is some snow that's moving into Montreal today. Looks like Ottawa could be seeing a couple flurries, and then this pushes right into Atlantic Canada. It's another snowy system for Nova Scotia.
Yeah, you know what? This will be bringing in some snow through the pre-dawn hours of Saturday. We're looking at probably about 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Snow into Newfoundland as we head into Saturday night. Significant snow, freezing rain, and ice pellets ahead with our next one. Let's dive a little bit deeper.
And this is it, the Colorado low that's coming in for Monday. There's still a lot of model discrepancy. Who sees the freezing rain? How long does it last? Do we switch over to rain? This is a system that we want to stay connected with you about, so do check out the Weather Network this weekend. Awesome stuff, Michelle. And of course, a great idea now that Family Day is approaching. Family Day in Ontario. I believe it's the second or the third Monday in February. I'm going to have to double check that. I'm going to get back to you on that one. But hey, hitting the slopes, enjoying a good Canadian winter. Be a good time to do that. 1 degree as we look at this afternoon. Mix of sun and cloud today, but more cloud. Could see a few peaks of sun. I know, that's the downer with today. It is going to be a pretty gray day. We are looking at a system moving across Ontario, but not impacting us. It is going to bring some light snow into Ottawa, Montreal as well, but us in Toronto, we're just too far to the south, so we won't be seeing that. But we're going to be feeling something, and that's the wind. The wind really increasing throughout the day today and into tomorrow as well. And as that wind really starts to ramp up, we are going to feel it. We're 5 degrees in Toronto on Saturday. Sunday, we're 4, 5 in Newmarket, 3 in Barrie, so you can see mild conditions still with us as we go through the weekend. All right, I want to take you out onto the roads this morning. This here is a live look at the 403. It is Friday. We are 19 days into January, and it is time for another edition of Ask the Met. So, Chris and Kelly, you guys ready to talk about snow?
We are.
Always.
Our favorite topic, right? And this one comes from Chris Weaver. Fact or fiction? The weather can be too cold for it to snow. I think it's fiction. The North Pole seems to be very cold and very snowy. What do you guys think about this one?
Well, you know what, Chris? This is actually a common misconception.
Yes.
It's a myth. Usually when we're talking about snow and the very cold temperatures, cold air really is usually associated with stable air, high pressure in
That's
place.
right.
And when we've got the stable air, well, we really don't have any moisture or instability to form the snow.
Yeah, you almost say it's too stable to snow. Colder temperatures, less water vapor. However, it can still snow at very cold temperatures.
Definitely.
A good example is you can get that Arctic air over the Great Lakes.
Yes.
But thing is, though, it's the lakes underneath, the warm lakes underneath that's rising into that cold air that creates that instability. So can it be too cold to snow? I mean, maybe once you get into the -40, -50 Celsius range, but otherwise, no. It's just, though, it's less likely to because the conditions aren't ripe for it.
And you know what? I want to mention one more thing because the snow, it's forming in the upper layers of our atmosphere.
right.
And there's multiple different layers in the atmosphere, different temperatures, and sometimes you've got warmer air aloft, sometimes you've got colder air aloft. So the snow, it's always going to form in the upper layers because it's always colder.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
that's a good
-40,
question.
chances are you have Arctic high pressure over you, too, and that sinking air will suppress precipitation too.
And we all know what that Arctic high pressure feels like. It almost looks like our across southern prairies, almost looks like a little bit of grapple there in that shot. And we are looking at snow across the northern prairies.
This week, heavy snow falling along the coastal mountain range.
It is amazing. And
wow.
we see this big trough developing across the west. And guys, that leads us to our next question. What the heck is a weather trough?
All right. Well, there's two kinds. There's the shortwave trough, which you'll take, Kelly, and I'll talk about the long wave trough, or the upper trough that we talked about. And I think we have a map to show you. And basically, it's where the cold air and the warm air meet. And you see this big horseshoe pattern here. That means there's a lot of cold air digging down further to the south. And as a result, you can get some stormy weather, again, the collision of the air masses. And it's on the east side of that trough. That's generally the storm track.
That's exactly right. Now, shortwave troughs, this is what we see a little bit more common day to day. System-wise, with our next graphic, you can actually see where the moisture is if we see a little bit of precipitation. This is just basically acting where the instability is in the atmosphere to form the precipitation.
All right, guys, that's your Friday edition of Ask the Mets. Your locals start now.
Yeah, you know, Michelle's absolutely right. Embrace the winter season.
Agreed.
And this is the weekend to be doing it. You were talking about, you know, maybe going tobogganing, maybe doing some skiing. This is the perfect weekend to be doing so in southern Ontario because we're finally getting into some milder weather.
That January thaw is coming in, but January thaw comes with a price sometimes, and that could leave precipitation a little mixed, a little icy. And that's why we do have these special weather statements across northern Ontario today. As we look further to the east here, down to Ottawa, Montreal, snow for you.
Yeah, the same system that's going to be bringing snow probably past your evening commute. Ottawa, Montreal may see a little bit, but over towards Quebec City, the bulk of that snow, that's going to be falling through the overnight hours tonight. This will be making its way into the Maritimes, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Newfoundland by Saturday afternoon and evening. This has been a pretty snowy week for Atlantic Canada.
It has been, and you got another round of it, Newfoundland into Saturday. And look at Ottawa. You know, Kelly, Ottawa, I think, has to be one of the greatest places in Canada to visit during the winter.
Totally.
With the Rideau, with Parliament, the fresh snow, just gorgeous. I know our very own Suzanne Leonard's
That's exactly
actually
what
there.
I was going to say. She's going to be definitely
She always
doing
inspires
some
me
skating.
to think about Ottawa in the winter time.
Now, we are going to be dealing with a bit of a messy system that's coming in as we head towards Monday and into Tuesday. Heavy swath of snow on the northern edge of this, about 10 to 20 centimeters possible, with this model trending it a little bit further south. Well, Rachel, this is where we get into the threat for rain and freezing rain across southern Ontario.
Exactly. This is the type of system where you need to keep connected with us here at the Weather Network. This forecast is going to change as we go through the weekend, and we want to get you prepared into Monday morning. I think it will do well. It will look really good, Michelle, coming down the QEW and the Gardner every morning. Thanks for that. And of course, the snow pass. A great idea if you have kids in your household in grade 3 and 4. Michelle Mackey's going to be filling us in about that throughout the hour. Above freezing through the weekend, this is when the January thaw officially comes into play. Saturday is going to feel the most like spring, and then an icy system developing Monday and in through Tuesday. Right now in Toronto, we are -4, feeling like -11. Now, here's a couple videos you're going to want to take a second look at in Trending with Kelly. And if you're thinking, hey, that car kind of looked like a DeLorean, yeah, you're right. Back to the Future lovers, I'm sure you're liking that video. As we take you into this afternoon, feels like -4 in Barrie, feels like -5 in Toronto. Winds are going to be strong today, especially Niagara region, gusting close to about 60 kilometers an hour. But it's a wind out of the right direction. It's the southwesterly wind. Overnight tonight, -1 in Toronto and Hamilton and Barrie. That's really not that cold for a January night. And it is that southwesterly wind that's helping to warm us up. Southwest winds at times can really skyrocket our temperatures, especially when they're this strong. Tomorrow morning, we could see some gusts close to 60. Why aren't our temperatures going up into the double digits? Well, remember all the stories we've been telling you about the snow in Texas, the problems in Florida with some icy conditions? Well, the air throughout the U.S. just really hasn't been that warm. So that's why we're not seeing a huge jump in temperatures, but still, 5 degrees above freezing for January, I'll take it. That's our forecast for tomorrow. We're clear into Sunday, 4 degrees, and then this is the next system that's coming through, and we could really be seeing some icy conditions as we go into Monday. Just want to show you this live look at the 403. Still
Week, they should have been heading a little bit further south. Take a look at the snow on the ground. Currently, we actually have some on the ground all the way down to the Gulf states. Now, temperatures, of course, are going to be warming up, so this is all going to be melting. But who's outside and enjoying the snow today? Well, that's Michelle Mackey. She's up in Snow Valley, which is just west of Barrie in southern Ontario. Looks like you're inside right now, getting all suited up to go maybe hit the slopes.
Having some fun in the snow, that's what you need to do on a Friday. But you know, Kelly, that makes me think about going skating. And personally,
My favorite part of skating is taking that skate off.
Oh, it feels
the
so
feeling
comfortable.
of
Putting your
just
boot on
stretching
after
your
that.
foot.
It's
It
so
feels like you
good.
have the most comfortable boot in the world. And I'm excited to see Michelle go skiing because I don't know if she's ever actually skied before.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
She maybe has skied before. I just don't know.
But maybe not on live TV.
Yeah.
So this is going to be some good television, so stay with us. Just want to get you up to speed on the special weather statements in northern Ontario for a bit of some freezing drizzle, some icy conditions, but it will be cold enough, this system, by the time it goes into Ottawa and Montreal to be straight snow this afternoon.
Yeah, likely as we head through the evening, overnight hours, areas like probably up towards Quebec City could be seeing about 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. Atlantic Canada, you've got a system that's offshore, so not impacting you really weather-wise, but you will see some stronger northerly winds, so temperatures are a little bit cooler today. Snow moving in as we head towards Saturday.
All right, we have a big system that we want to talk about. This is our next one.
So a Colorado low, that's going to be moving into the Great Lakes as we head towards Monday and Tuesday of next week. Concerns will be this heavy swath of snow across the north, but also, Rachel, down towards the south, not only rain, but possibly freezing rain.
This is a system that you have to keep connected with us here at the Weather Network as models are changing, putting ice down across the south. Michelle, it looks gorgeous out there, and it's the third Monday of February. That's Family Day, and that would be a great time to get out on the slope. So start thinking about some wintry plans, how we can embrace the season, right? We're 1 degree this afternoon in Toronto. It's pretty easy to embrace the season when we're 1 degree. It's enjoyable to be on the outside. We do have a system that's passing to the north of us throughout the day today. We stay dry in Toronto, but if your travel plans do take you out towards Ottawa or Montreal, we will be looking at some snow through these regions moving into Atlantic Canada for Saturday. Temperature-wise, here on Saturday, this is a great place to be. 6 in Hamilton, 5 in Toronto, 6 degrees in Barrie. We will be seeing some snow melting this weekend, of course, but you know, it's good for the ski hills. We see that nice compact base when we get the January thaw, and of course they hope that will take them right into the spring season. And of course, we got a lot more winter to go, so this January thaw is not marking the start of spring, that's for sure. On Sunday, we're 4 degrees in Toronto, more cloud cover building on Sunday, and then Monday, we have a very interesting system coming through. This system into Monday morning, depending on the track of the low, could be bringing some very icy conditions. We warm up again into Monday evening and we'll see rain spread in. Tuesday could be a bit soggy as well. This is the type of system that we want you to keep connected with us here at the Weather Network. Don't just check back on Monday morning. Have a look at what we're saying in through the weekend, because this system likes to be very changeable and it could have a big impact on the commute through Monday. Speaking of the commute, let's take a look at it right now.
Yet, so I'm going to send it back inside. Oh my gosh, I'll see you in a few minutes and then I'll go down. Okay.
There's Michelle. Okay, that looks like so much fun. You got to stay with us, because within the next 10 minutes, Amanda Weldon will be here. Michelle Mackey will be going down that hill.
If she made it down the hill in one place.
That is going to be some good television. Leanna McLean also joining the show as well. All right, we want to get into the snow, though, because, Kelly, we actually, in this situation, would be better to be a couple degrees colder, because then we'd see straight snow. This is bringing icy conditions, and that's the worst for travel.
Yeah, you know what? A little bit of patchy freezing drizzle. That's been the story for areas like Kapuskasing, Timmins, Sudbury as well. This system, as it continues to track further east, will be spreading in some snow across portions of Quebec through the overnight hours. Quebec City, you could be looking at about 10 to 20 centimeters. And then, of course, Rachel, we know these systems continue to track further east.
Into Atlantic Canada they come, and Nova Scotia, you've got another round of snow on the way. New Brunswick, you'll be seeing that as well. And then it does look like into late Saturday, Newfoundland, bring out the shovels.
Yeah, that's right. Ottawa, you'll be looking at just some light flurries, so I don't think you need the shovels today and even into the weekend, because we're actually going to be looking at more of a rain event, possibly a freezing rain event. Let's dive into those details right now.
After a warm weekend across southern Ontario, we see this system coming in for Monday. And this is the type of setup where we want our viewers to keep connected with us here at the Weather Network. Some models are saying this could put down a decent amount of ice. We could see ice throughout the day across the Golden Horseshoe on Monday. Others making it change over to rain a little quicker. So it's a tricky forecast at this point.
At this point, it's all about the track of the low, and right now, it hasn't even formed yet. So make sure you stay tuned here at the Weather Network throughout the weekend. We'll continue to keep you updated. This graphic is just a heads up to let you know which areas potentially could be dealing with that pink, which is basically freezing rain or ice pellets. As we take a look at the next 7 days for the city of Toronto, though, Rachel, beyond that, colder air, it's making a bit of a return.
It makes its return. It does, and then warm up again into next week. And when we come back, remember Michelle Mackey. She's on the tube, live TV, flying down that hill. That's next.